Would you like to come have some coffee and pie with me?
Every time you order, I get embarrassed. I meant to be like a crypto coffee podcast, and he always asks for like syrup or honey or something.
Yeah, I like it that way. Got it from my wife, so.
Like it's sweet. We've done an episode here before. We're sort of running out of cafes close to the office. There's more cafes around South Yarra, but it's been raining today, so we sort of found one that was super, super close for us to go to and do a bit of a podcast. The weather's got us a bit flat, and we haven't had our coffee yet, so we have ordered. We'll pick up pretty quickly. It's been an interesting week. We're sort of chopping. We're still around the 1.8 to 112 mark.
Yeah, yesterday we hit 114, dumped overnight again to 1.8. So that's where the move started from, and we're back at it. But interestingly, gold dipped 5% overnight.
Well, I think that's what we saw. I think we saw it was gold and silver and some of the other metals had all dipped at the same time. So I think the same time that Bitcoin went up. So I think we saw
a rotation.
People rotating out, and hopefully that's the start of it. We sort of touched upon last week that is something that I expect will happen in Q4, which we're now we're halfway through Q4.
Yeah. But the main thing is like Bitcoin is still below 110. That's one major like red flag for me for the time being, because the structure is now more neutral or bearish rather than being bullish. The momentum is lost, and a lot of altcoins are like way below their 2021 or like FT crash levels.
Yeah.
So that's one key thing.
I mean, look, going back, fear and greed is at 28%. So that's very fearish. There's no greed whatsoever. Bitcoin dominance is around 59%. So we're still seeing it's a Bitcoin market. It's still a spot market. Yeah. Alts, I still do think there's a narrative for alts, hopefully in Q1 next year. And I've been saying this for a while, that I think it's been a little bit delayed. But at the moment, I would just be holding. And I think there's alts and alts now. Right, so like I don't consider something like Chainlink as an alt. I still think Chainlink is great value to buy now. XRP, I don't really consider an alt. Solana, I don't really consider an alt. I think those are major blue chips, and we see them they move up when Bitcoin goes up.
Yeah,
and in a good market, money will rotate into some of those as well.
Yep.
I think the retail market is wise enough now that they don't just rotate out of gold into Bitcoin, as do Bitcoin ETH.
Yeah.
And then rotate down into hopefully Solana, Chainlink, XRP. XRP is still doing really well. I'm such a Ripple hater, but or an XRP hater. Not Ripple. I think Ripple's doing some things, but XRP
is holding.
Confuses me at the moment, but it's holding.
It's holding. Yeah.
It's a cult.
I think the how the market is reacting right now is especially on the US-China tariffs, and now there was a news yesterday.
And the government's closed.
The government has closed, so it's third week of government getting not open. So I think that's interesting, and that comes up with like non-printing of the data, the crucial data that the markets need to see.
Yeah.
So the CPI data, the PPI prints.
So a lot of people are in a holding pattern, which means just sort of choppy trades up and down.
So that's where I think the market has come into a territory of non-risk or de-risked, because a lot of institutions are now under the impression like the data might be not relevant anymore, because September was sort of a bullish in terms of inflation.
I don't think it's not relevant. I just think it's delayed a lot of action. So I think I'm hoping that when the government opens back up and we get that data, it's dovish.
It should be dovish, but for the rate cuts, but not for the overall economy. That's where a lot of uncertainty points out to institutions de-risking, or like the OGs on Bitcoin. They have been just selling relentlessly.
I just think whatever the data is, Trump will try and have like a positive swing that moves retail. Like we're back and it's better.
Yeah.
It's just that's Trump. It's marketing, right? Trump is marketing led.
Yeah.
Marketing led president. So my hope is that it opens, we get some good news, and we see some momentum flowing back into crypto. I think now we're starting to see it flowing out of gold. It hit perhaps a psychological level at 420, 4200. And people took profits and cycled into Bitcoin. That was very momentary. Like I think I opened the app and was sort of like, okay, what happened to Bitcoin? How did it?
Yeah,
just a quick jump and then a correction.
Quick jump as well. That's what I was like. Okay,
well, I think that's what's happening. It's like people have sell orders in place, right? So like it's a quick thing, and then the sell orders kicked in, limit orders kicked in, and people kind of pushed the price down.
But it's too volatile right now. So it's like we have always
don't
mentioned. Yeah, you don't have to leverage on these moves because these 5% moves overnight can be very violent to the portfolio. I think it's a spot market, and
So gold dropped 6%.
yeah,
And silver 13 or 14%. So
Yeah,
those are
totally.
massive. So it's not just cryptos, it's volatile.
everything is like super volatile now, and the main thing is not like the clarity is like missing in terms of the momentum right now because everyone is wanting to get that data and the data is not being published because of
Well,
the
there's
US
no
closure.
narrative. There's no,
Yeah, no
narrative
narrative.
to really push it along. And I think, okay, maybe I said Trump's a marketing-led president.
Yeah, but there
Let me
needs to be
rephrase that. I think it's a narrative-driven. Like he'll spin whatever.
Yeah.
That data needs to be released so he can spin the narrative
Around
in a
it,
positive
yeah.
direction and warm the markets up, which I think will be his goal. And it's not just obviously he's very invested
Yep.
into crypto from a narrative point of view, but also probably personally
Yep.
and Barron.
Yeah, they have made like more than $1 billion, man. Like,
But I think just from the narrative, he doesn't want to be seen as the president that tanked the market. So I think he's going to be pushing to invigorate the
Yeah.
traditional markets, the commodities, and the crypto.
yeah, that's where I think the market is now wanting to see those sort of like narrative or a new direction of hope because the current existing narratives are all gone. That's what I feel. That's where all this choppiness has come up, or like the momentum has faded, and a lot of OGs have started to take their profits. And there's a new Bitcoin short that was like that's still running
So man,
from that OG whale that has like made $200 million in crash just before the Trump tweeted about it.
yeah.
So a lot of interesting activities going on, and yeah.
From that point of view, it's really interesting. I think the
still
markets,
short.
the charts have been boring. It's
Yeah.
choppy.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good news to get excited about. I think it's up and down, up and down. But I think there are some interesting narratives happening below the surface, and I do think we're sort of seeding now something that I think would be a lot more explosive, one way or the other. I'm not going to predict. Like I
We don't.
don't see a crash yet.
Yeah.
So I do feel that we're going to get one more peak.
Yeah.
Because everything seems to be sort of stoking the fire for that to get
Yeah,
things
yeah.
ready. Institutions are still buying spot, they're still holding it.
Yeah. Not
so
a
I
lot
still
of
see-
movement this week.
I
Yeah.
still see one, but they're not selling though.
They're not
right?
selling that big yet. Yeah, we have seen like 4 days of ETF negative flows. So they have sold, but not a big bags.
Not
yet.
big bags.
The thing is, like the OGs have sold, and it's more of a traditional finances.
But I think they're selling because they're rebalancing everything.
The OGs are just getting out of the market now. That's what I feel. Like over 300,000 Bitcoin have been sold by the OGs,
Yeah.
especially during September and October. So if that pressure goes below, like I was reading a stat, if it goes below 1,000 BTC a week of net outflow, or like the net selling from the OGs, only then we can see some sort of stability and momentum upside.
It'd be crazy if we actually saw the flipping happen and ETH flip Bitcoin, not from a price point of view, but market cap. Like if everyone's getting out of Bitcoin and you get the right US conditions to support the ETH infrastructure. And I think US is more bullish on ETH than it is
Definitely.
Bitcoin because it's an industry they can build on.
Yeah, yeah. Payment,
Maybe
stable
we are
coins.
seeing that on the start.
Yeah.
Any hopium or for ETH holders, but maybe we are seeing a shift in.
But ETH is the Bitcoin's beta, right? So that's where.
That's only because it has to be. That's only it's not directly tied to it. It just sort of follows. ETH follows the market. There's nothing that
Yeah.
in the code. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like ETH layer 2s that have to follow what ETH does, right? It's just
It's how the
because
psychology.
it is.
Psychology of the market evolves.
Maybe everybody now goes into ETH. Who knows?
Yeah. No, that's pretty much. I think definitely something we want to see as like altcoin enthusiasts as well, like ETH to be leading the market rather than Bitcoin, and we just need Bitcoin to be stable and bullish. Like Bitcoin is bullish, obviously it hasn't shown the signs of the trend like the momentum losing yet, but just it's more of a cautious week to be into the markets right now. That's what I feel.
I think it's a very. I think if you look at if we take a step back, firstly, if we zoom out the graph, we're still in a healthy spot. Like the growth for Bitcoin over the past 12 months has still been amazing, right? So I think if you zoom out, it's okay, and it hasn't crashed down much. So I think we talk about things. So we're guilty. We talk about things on a weekly level because we have to, we said something last week, we have to update you. So we very much look at like a weekly scale. And if you zoom out, I think we're still okay.
Bitcoin is healthy, ETH is healthy, Solana is also healthy, but the other
But I think just the whole global geopolitical climate at the moment is in turmoil with, wars and
tariffs
and
a lot of
government
uncertainty
being closed, and we're seeing a lot of left versus right discussions as well in the media all around the world. So it's a very tumultuous
turbulence
world at the moment. And I think that always gets reflected in the markets.
The charts, that's where I think a lot of sentiment towards upside is now limited. That's where,
and plus we have a spaceship heading towards us.
Oh yeah.
3i Atlas, which gets here October 29th, and
then something happens. Let's see.
We'll take all of our Bitcoin. I come in peace, take me to Satoshi. Maybe Satoshi's coming back. Who knows? Maybe it's Satoshi.
Oh yeah, so coming to Satoshi, there's a polymarket bet now, which is having 15% odds of Satoshi making a Bitcoin movement from his wallet before 2025 ends, and 15% odds of yes, and it's surging now. So maybe someone knows something. Who knows?
That would be crazy.
That
the ultimate rug pull. Imagine.
Satoshi sells everything on market.
I don't think he wouldn't. But from a tech point of view, you couldn't sell quick enough. It would tank, but it would destroy the market. You would dump it to zero.
Yeah. So
that would be crazy. Exchanges, not us, but other exchanges that are less scrupulous than us would turn trading off, like we saw in the last crash. A lot of other exchanges made it impossible to sell. Not Day 1X.
Yeah.
We're fair and transparent in that regard. But that would be crazy. 15%.
15% odds, and it's rising. So it was like a week ago, it was 6%.
I feel like that's a bit of like a meme bet. I feel like.
Who knows? Polymarket bets have been very on the point. That's the thing.
By the end of the year.
Yeah, by the end of the year. And that's surging, so.
So that to me confirms that Satoshi was an alien and he's coming back on 3i Atlas.
Who knows?
Is there a polymarket bet for that?
That's what I was looking at as well. And then comes like the drop in the gold, like more than 5%, and it has broken the records from 2013.
Biggest drop.
Biggest drop.
But it's easy to have the biggest drop when you've had the biggest increase. Everyone's like, they go, okay, it's the same thing as Bitcoin. Oh, massive drop in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at 108.
But what happened?
Yeah, it was at 120. It's at 108. It used to be at 60 last year.
Bitcoin is volatile. We all know. We've never seen gold that volatile and not having enough liquidity.
We've never seen gold pump that hard either.
We've
never seen. So it's a correction. We've never seen gold. We just haven't. The market hasn't, right? So
So all the institutions or central banks dumped it in one go, like all the commodities.
There was an interesting thing that I read that a lot of the gold movement could actually be attributed to stablecoins pumping as well.
Okay.
I don't know how. And I'll link to the article below. So it was a very late night read, but apparently some of the stable coins are actually pegged to gold, or the currency is pegged to gold, and there's.
Well, I think that's what China is
smarter than us are saying that.
That's what China, Russia, India, or Turkey are trying to do. Like they are the.
No, but they're saying that right now a stable coin pump impacts the currencies, which impacts gold now already. Like that this pump could actually be driven a lot by Tether, Circle.
Yeah, because Tether has its own balance sheet on gold. So they have been increasing the gold.
So it's all connected.
Oh, okay. But still, it's a $1 billion or $2 mark. That's it. Like gold has been having trillions of dollars pumped into it in a day. That's the thing. But
it has
$2 trillion
it has a snowball effect. Someone says, it go up, and then people are buying, and then people are lining up around the block to buy gold.
That's what I've seen. Like in Sydney,
much smaller market caps, but there's tokenized gold now. There's different ways to buy gold that you didn't you couldn't before, and even investment apps make it a lot easier to buy gold now, even if you just look from a tech adoption point of view, and a lot of that has been to combat or to compete against the ease of crypto. You can open up Revolut now and buy Bitcoin or gold. Right?
Tokenized version of it. Yes, the only thing with them is liquidity and the fees and spread. So, and whenever you want to dump it, it's a big risk of if you are having a big bag, there's not enough liquidity available on chain as well. So,
Well,
yeah,
someone in
people
the
do.
office tried to sell an altcoin on a different exchange today and wasn't allowed to transfer it out
Transfer it
because
out,
they don't
yeah.
have the liquidity. We're not gonna.
Yeah.
That was SwiftX. Apparently, SwiftX you can't withdraw Pengu or SPX.
SPX, yeah. But our tokens are backed one to one. It's all fully on chain, so you can whenever you want to withdraw it out. I think that's number one thing with Day One X.
I was super surprised, and it's good to see what these other exchanges are doing because I
Yeah.
think that is something that we need to put in the marketing a little bit more. Maybe we'll sit and write an article about that.
Yeah.
We won't name and shame SwiftX in the official article, but
Yeah.
It's-
It's actually good to know all of these.
so what does that mean? They're not actually holding the assets, or
They're just trading as it is.
you're just buying.
Yeah, they have enabled only trading of the asset. You can't deposit or withdraw the asset. That's the thing. So you can't deposit anything on chain as like Pengu token on chain to them because they don't have that sort of custody support probably. But you can only trade them. So you can just make the trade in and out. Deposit AUD probably, buy Pengu, sell
Yeah.
Pengu. You can't take it out.
You can't take it out.
Yeah.
That's I thought the crypto industry was better than that. That was slightly shocking.
the crypto industry needs to be on chain. That's where the whole thing is. Like if you're doing it synthetically or like just on books, then it's a very different thing.
What's the point?
Yeah. So
I thought that was interesting. But yeah, certainly choppy market. Not a lot to really report on.
just stay safe out there. I think the
ETH
spot bags are
moved-
also bleeding a lot,
ETH
especially
moved
the
like $650 million worth of ETH again.
The
So
foundation, yeah.
Foundation moved, so they're getting sort of a little bit of.
Even they are not confident on their backs. That's what I'm
I don't know where
always
they've
feel.
moved it.
They always try to like Vitalik always tried to do some sort of charity or donations, and then that's where they sell the bags.
Yeah.
And any sort of these sort of movements, especially from the ETH Treasury or the foundation, have always marked the local top on ETH chart. So
Well, he's smart.
yeah,
Right.
and Ethereum is like, hit 4,200 overnight, is back below 3,800
But
again.
defending that, it's if you're running the ETH foundation, it's better to sell high because if it's low and you're selling, it's going to have panic dumps.
Yeah.
Right,
That
so-
has happened a lot during 1,500 mark as well. Like when
You got to kind
trade around
of
that.
strategically sell where it's going to have the least impact. If they need to raise money, that's how they raise money. They sell.
Yeah, they
It's
could
like
be
any
doing.
company sells off its stocks.
They could be
to
doing
raise money.
OTC deals rather than doing selling themselves. That's what I feel. Just to have a lesser market impact. They can just do a OTC deal with Bitmine because they are the ones buying heavy bags on an everyday basis on like Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
So yesterday also they bought around $250 million worth of ETH.
Okay.
They could buy it directly from the ETH Foundation like, without impacting the prices or like without manipulating the price, I would say.
Well, maybe that's just not deemed as transparent. Maybe they're trying to go,
Well-
okay, look, we're keeping it above board. I don't know. I just picture
Just like
I just
World
picture him
Liberty.
sitting there doing everything himself. I'm like, whenever it's like the ETH Foundation, I'm like, just Vitalik sitting there.
Yeah. And there was a backlash around ETH Foundation as well over like last week, wherein a lot of L2s or like a lot of dApps that are built on Ethereum were trying to like force their way out, communicating that they haven't been treated the way they needed to be because that's another product built on ETH. So they were like Polygon
Haven't been
especially.
supported by the foundation.
Yeah, in a way, yes. So they were like, are we even considered a part of Ethereum ecosystem or not? Or do we have our own ecosystem?
I don't think he cares.
Yeah, Vitalik doesn't care. He's just there to do or like produce or deliver whatever he wants to on the ETH blockchain. So yeah, that was another big thing happening over the weekend.
So the tariffs. So Trump threatens up to 155% tariffs on China.
Yeah, and Trump did
And he signed a big
Big deal
$8.5
with
billion
AU.
deal with
Yeah.
Australia.
yeah over the rare
Incredible.
rare earth minerals that has been the talk of the town now. So good news
But
for all.
then interestingly, all the rare earth minerals dumped.
Yeah,
Everything.
how market behaves. I think they forecast something.
Uranium,
We are just-
everything. Everything's dumped. That's during the gold dump. Everything went down.
Yeah. Because those are like sort of a beta place to gold now. That's what I feel
Yeah.
like silver has always been that case. And 12%, 13% drawdown within a day or like within 4 hours is a massive thing because a lot of retailers are now piling up to gold or buying silver.
What do you think the beta play to Bitcoin is then?
I would say ETH for the time being.
It's
Nothing
weird,
else.
right? It used to be Litecoin. Like when you said silver, like Litecoin was the silver to Bitcoin's gold, right?
Even Litecoin
Things
founder, Litecoin founder specifically said in an interview that he shouldn't have invented Litecoin. He was better off with Bitcoin.
Really?
Yeah.
We still get a lot of Litecoin volume, man. People still support it.
I'm not too sure what they are just using it for. Like the payments, there have been cases where Litecoin is used in payments, especially Bitcoin Cash as well as Litecoin, but it's very limited. And I think they still have a huge
I completely
fan
agree with
base.
you. Like ETH is the beta play, but it's weird how that changed, right? It was you said
Litecoin.
Bitcoin was the gold.
Yeah.
And I think even the marketing was like that. Bitcoin was the orange gold, and Litecoin was sort of the
silver.
same thing that was silver, and that's how it was. And then that changed.
The silver never.
So
popped
things
up.
do change. Like some people watching this might not have been around for the first two cycles.
Yeah.
But
It used to be
that's
Litecoin.
how it was.
Yeah, back in 2015, 16. And yeah, ever since I think the DeFi summer kicked in on Ethereum, that's where I think the real Ethereum play has been all around. So before 2020, I think Ethereum was still there, not that competitive to like in a way in terms of gold and silver standard. But I think after the DeFi summer and the use cases on Ethereum as a layer one picked
Well,
up.
and the massive altcoin pumps.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, because
ICO pumps
ICO pumps, exactly. Everybody's doing ICO because all of these altcoins and
were on Ethereum.
they're on Ethereum. They prop up the system. They prop up the system. That's it. Because you need ETH to trade them.
Yeah, definitely. Another coming to the ICO pumps now that we're discussing, eco.money, like eco money from Kobe. So he's one of the OGs from Up Only interview. So
Okay.
he's a like 2013er OG, and he had built Eco, wherein Plasma got launched as an ICO, right?
Okay.
The stablecoin
Yeah.
token, and people made like 100x's on that. That platform Eco has been bought by Coinbase yesterday on a $375 million deal, and Coinbase also did buy his Up Only NFT for $25 million. So that means there's going to be another season of the podcast. So Up Only is a podcast that was done by Kobe. So that will be coming soon.
That's for 375 million.
Why not? We can have our own bitter and bullet NFTs probably in future.
I think NFTs are coming. I think we talked about it. I think a month or two ago when things were looking much more bullish for this queue.
Yeah, we were
I still
discussing
think-
the hedge bar NFTs and stuff.
Yeah, I bought some. They're not doing too well at the moment. But I still think NFTs come. It's amazing. You can buy some amazing blue chip NFTs now for a fraction of the price.
Only if you believe in them. That's what I feel. Like if there's not going to be another.
No one believed in them when they were at the peak. No one ever believed in them. It was just sort of
This is the hype.
as soon as everybody stopped selling these little toys, they're in the cafe here as well. What are they called? Those little like monster bunnies. I don't even know. I'm not up.
Labubu, I think.
Not up on the trends.
Yeah.
They'll cycle back into NFTs.
Yeah, that's what we want people to be in. Like because the future is digital, right? The art will be digital as well, and it's already happening. The thing is, like all these NFT plays, I think we need better utilities. That's where the market needs to be heading towards.
And I think real world assets on
NFTs
being the current
Yeah.
wave. And I think probably if any altcoins go parabolic,
Yeah.
it'll be real world assets
Yeah.
or AI tokens, just because that narrative is already baked in. It's already there, and the projects and the fundamentals are there, and those are the ones supported by institutions.
The big thing
And
about
then
is,
that siphons into like the real world assets when they build something.
Yeah.
They'll be NFTs.
yeah, different. That's the only way, right? And I think the other thing being is like people to be bullish on some altcoins. We need a new narrative. Like this buyback mechanism only works when the protocol is generating enough revenue.
Yeah.
That's what if the volume drops down, for example, the revenue will drop down as well, and there's going to be a massive inflation on all those tokens as well.
Okay, so what's your feeling on your darling
Hi.
Pengu?
Pengu? It's below the like I did sell the panic crash like a bit because I wanted to keep some sort of stable coins. But ever since I haven't seen market like having that sort of healthy order books or like that healthy.
Okay, so
uptrend.
let's talk about the utility. So what was interesting about Pengu was that it's a whole ecosystem. It's a whole like they released the game, they released the toy line. They're going to do a TV series, etc., etc. So all those things that we talked about
And they
2
have
months
hired-
ago are still happening,
there.
right? So
Still there.
Pengu is still more of a Disney, like they're a whole
Yes.
IP, they're a whole brand. So that is still valid. None of that has changed.
Correct.
Why doesn't the price reflect it?
Because of the market conditions, I think the people, that's how the psychology of the market works. The things remain the same. Ethereum used to be the same thing, right? Before 2 years back. But now there's a new stablecoin narrative that's emerged on Ethereum. That's where I think the markets always need some sort of narrative, except for the fundamentals. The fundamentals will always be there. For example, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high in hash rate as well. So that's the fundamental value with Bitcoin. But the price is still down because the people speculating on the price upside or down are not having that sort of confidence now. The confidence in the market has shaken, especially after the liquidation that
So I
happened.
think that's the key, right? Is the confidence in the market needs to return because
Only then the
everything
markets
that
go up.
we're talking about Pengu
Yeah.
being a good buy.
Chainlink being a good buy,
Let's think of Pengu. We're talking about Pengu being a good buy. It was 2x from here.
easily.
Right?
Yeah.
And we were saying it was still a good buy because the market conditions are different. So it's not necessarily
The protocol
it's not
conditions.
the product. It's not the product or anything. It's just the overall market conditions,
Yes.
which then I think goes back to if Trump can spin a healthy narrative around the economy, around crypto,
Yes.
then I think all these assets pump up again.
Pump up again.
Because there's nothing preventing them from doing so other than the narrative.
Exactly.
And the narrative leads to inflows, which leads to cycling.
Yeah.
I'm simplifying it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. That's how the psychology or the any markets in the world work.
So
Especially,
therefore, is it still a good time to buy Pengu?
it's always a good time to buy the dips unless there's a big structural shift or like what happens. We are hoping that Trump doesn't do anything unnecessary or anything wrong to the crypto market.
Yeah.
But he has already made like more than $1 billion. So if they think on a personal basis, then he's done with the crypto, right? The crypto Bitcoin has done 6x over the like 3 years or 4 years time frame.
Which is amazing. We
Which
talk,
is
we talk
amazing, right?
about it's been a 6% dip.
But then
it's done
comes-
the 6x.
Exactly. Then comes the altcoins that are into the bear market ever since. They have barely outperformed Bitcoin or Ethereum. Even if you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
like top 2,000
Well, there's just because
tokens,
there's
for
so
example.
many of them.
Yeah. So that's where I
And I think
think
a lot of them, like in a bear market, you see a lot of assets like fall off. Like a lot of altcoins that are saying they're doing
we
this.
are already in a bear market or
Where
not.
they're going to fall off, right? They're not going to, as a business, just from a business point of view, business use case point of view, it won't survive 3 years, 4 years of a bearish market, 2 years, whatever the bear market is. It won't survive 4 months because they'll move on to something else. It's probably a cash get rich quick scheme for the founders and then move on to something else.
A lot of
But things that actually have a business, like Chainlink, like we're
Yes.
saying Pengu, should have longevity. So even if even if it dips further, if you get into it, if as long as your dollar cost averaging in,
Yes.
we'll be sitting here in 2 years going, okay, zoom out.
Yeah. Only in
done.
certain altcoins that's the thing.
Only in certain altcoins. I'm not saying everything, but I think we're talking about Pengu having a little bit more value because that's what I was asking. The narrative hasn't changed, right? There's a lot of other altcoins that sort of only that only have a value if the market's doing well.
The only thing is token unlocks, man. Like you need to be very careful. Like for example, I am bullish on Pengu. Doesn't mean the token will be performing that well because there might be token unlocks coming. That's what is happening with Pengu. So all these altcoins that we are right now seeing below the bear market levels on,
Do
like
they matter if you zoom out over 12 months?
yes.
You think it matters?
To my
that much?
thesis, yes, because how the markets react is it doesn't react to the fundamentals alone. There needs to be a proper recipe of upside. That's what we have seen across. Like Pengu still had some sort of token unlock, or any X token has some sort of unlocks, but the buy pressure is so high that people don't care about the token unlocks. They're still buying more than what the sub. But now, if the market activity is not that sort of like we don't have that sort of confidence in the market, what happens is like there's going to be sell pressure. There's not going to be enough buy pressure. That will lead to the tanking of the alts. That's what is happening now.
But what I'm saying is, if we zoom out, if you were to buy it now and there were token unlocks, if we zoom out like this time in the next cycle, so it's the same period, we're having the same conversation in 2 to 3 years, because I don't think we're having 4-year cycles now. I think they're going to be much more compacted. So we're at the sort of the end of the next cycle.
Well,
Does
it
it matter
depends.
in the long term
It doesn't matter on Bitcoin or Ethereum, but it matters on a lot of
on something
altcoins.
like Pengu?
Yes.
But like I said, I think a lot of the altcoins,
Doesn't make any sense to have
a lot of the
token.
altcoins only make sense in a bullish market
Yes.
because
And
they're built around crypto, right? Whereas
And yes, coming to the 4-year cycle, what we have seen since 2021, for example, the top or the bottom in 2022, what we have seen right now is altcoin seasons have been there, but it's been 10 days of altcoins popping here and there and outperforming BTC, and then bleeding back to lower lows.
yep.
That's the whole scenario. And even Ethereum as well. Like Ethereum pumped, it was 1500 like 6 months back, right?
Because I think what happens is there's a massive pump in a narrative that's perhaps not as strong.
Even AI
and
tokens.
people take profits into
RW as
Bitcoin.
well. Yeah. And people,
We're
yeah.
taking profits.
The thing is, like, overall market, people haven't made huge profits this cycle, even if the OGs as well. Like, I'm talking about the OGs as well because how the market usually used to react is like Bitcoin lit the pump, the money used to flow in all those altcoins. So now the Bitcoin has pumped, it has been chopping around, but there's no new flow going into the
I'd
altcoins.
say like it was ETH that had to pump before we saw money go into altcoins.
Yes, and ETH did see a pump, but the new narrative around why would you buy any random altcoin that is doing nothing? That's
Look, I think we were there. It started. I think it was still sort of like institutional led. Like Bitcoin was institutional led. We saw ETH pumping probably like 6 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
And we saw the alts start to pick up. It was really, really healthy. And then the tariff conversation happened.
Yeah.
And then everything tanked after the tariff conversation. So we were there. So my only so I think that cycle, had it allowed to play out, would have played out exactly the same.
Yeah.
Would have played out exactly the same. So anybody that was here 6 months ago predicting that something would play out in a particular way, us incled,
Almost
was spot on the money.
Yeah.
As I've always said, the trump card is Trump.
Exactly.
Right? So the unpredictability. So that unpredictability literally
Backfired everything.
Chopped our legs out from underneath us from the market.
Yep.
Everybody got scared back into Bitcoin. We saw a Bitcoin pump, but nothing else, because that Bitcoin pump, the last one that we had to 125, was everybody cycling out of alts and out of ETH
Bitcoin. Yes.
into Bitcoin as a more stable store of wealth. And that's why Bitcoin pumped and alts didn't, because there's people getting out of alts.
Exactly. Now what happens if Bitcoin dumps? That's the thing. Because people have already circled out of alts barely have new buyers.
Totally. But the only uncertainty that I still hope for is like we saw Trump's impact in the downwards spiral.
Yep.
I would like to see everybody would love to see. I would love to see the same in an upwards movement.
Yeah.
And I think it can happen.
Yep.
The only thing that worries me is get out, because we've seen that Trump will be good news, bad news, good news, bad news.
Yeah.
Right, so we could see a massive pump. At that point, I'd be selling my spot positions, because I think we'll see like when you're in not at a loss, if you've made a profit, whatever your profit needs to be for you to be comfortable and happy.
Yep.
But I do think we still see this, and I'm going to call it an artificial pump, because I think we're in an artificial dip. I really do. I think had Trump not talked about the narratives, we would be flying into alt season at the moment.
Yeah.
And so I think this is an artificial dip. Not that it's not real, but he created it. Those conditions that he led to created this dip. We would be much better off without the tariffs.
Yeah, that's true. That's one thing I feel as well. The other
So I
thing,
think
he can pump the banks definitely with one tweet. So there have been rumors circulating around that Trump will be excluding the crypto market from the capital gain tax. That's one thing that's been circulating that can push crypto to the upside. That's what 100%. We want to see.
Yeah.
The other thing is he's trying to say that we'll be the government will be airdropping $1,000 or $2,000 from the tariff revenue that they've generated.
Yeah,
not airdrop airdrop.
Those were photoshopped.
But that might still be a possibility.
I think everybody's wishing for that. If they were airdropping USD1 to everyone,
only then the crypto pops up. That's what I feel personally, because the confidence has lost. I'm not saying that it's not a good time to buy the dip, but be very selective with what assets you're buying into, because if you're just holding a shitcoin and you say, okay, Trump is gonna come and pump my bag, I don't think it's gonna happen. Especially after the altcoins are now having a lot more unlocks scheduled after October. So that's where I'm very cautious with the altcoins.
The problem is also people are hurting and they're going to take profits. So any pump that we see first, people will be taking profits to try and.
The thing is, alts have barely
outperformed. Big enough to sort of
get them above.
It's almost like a massive unlock where everybody's just going to be selling.
Exactly.
even if there is no unlock, people have bought in expecting there to be a Q4 pump. They haven't had it. They've
But
lost
Q4
money.
has a lot of unlocks on the major tokens that what I've seen. Like even SUI, C are back below like 250 or 20
I'm not
cents.
so worried about them, only because I think market conditions are so bad it won't really like affect it.
Yeah.
I think there'll be blips on the radar because it's like, if they were soaring, you would see a 10% crash, right? But I think everything, like you see a crash, but it'd be 1%. Like, it's so, everything's sort of compacted.
Yeah.
But I think we're like in this artificial dip
Yeah.
that was created by this narrative that Trump created and has probably, like, I think he was planning to sort of fix it, but the government's closed.
Yeah.
Right, so it's this like we're in a holding pattern, and I think that's why we see this choppiness to the right, where no one really knows. It's sort of like, and that can only last for so long before people get fed up. I was seeing this like artificial dump. People are waiting for some news. They're not getting it. It's a buy sell. I've had enough. Oh, I'm buying. Like it's a battle of what you believe in, because some people are going get out as soon as it hits 110. Some people are saying, okay, buy it. It's cheap. So you're gonna get chopped, right? It's a spot trading.
Yeah.
But hopefully, and when's the government open again?
We know.
Crazy. The
21 days
government
already,
is
man.
closed, man. How crazy is that? That is crazy. Think about it. U.S. government is closed.
Yeah, the only thing I think is like October rate cuts are still coming, so we are waiting. Like the traders are betting on that, so that's what the market should be. Like the positive or the bullish sentiments for Q4 are rate cuts
Yeah.
and some sort
It's
of.
all happening on October 26th. Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, so there's two things to watch out. That, which could artificial pump, and also, so I'm hoping something good happens and we get not an artificial pump, but back to what we should be, where there's a relief, a sense of, okay, everything's going to be okay. Let's continue on the trajectory that we were. That, and we'll end it on this, or October 29th, 3i Atlas is circling around the sun, and the aliens are coming, and then they're only accepting Bitcoin. So get your Bitcoin bags ready. That's it. That's my prediction. Go buy Bitcoin on spot. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. I'd like to think that we'll be. My prediction is
positive flows.
My prediction is we're going to see a little bit more of the same. I still think. Wait, 26. What's the date? No, so it's in 4 days. So it's a big episode next week. Thank you for tuning in. We'll cover the
rate cuts.
next week.
The other thing
It'll be just before the aliens get here. See you then. Like and subscribe.
Bye.
See ya.